Hey, welcome to the Gumbo Lala channel. My name is Kayla, and in today's video, I have my friend Miyra and my friend Ashley talking to me about their journey with lupus and how food and nutrition has been a big help to them as far as helping with symptoms, alleviating a lot of different types of pain that they have. And it also allows them to feel a lot of control over the things that you don't feel like you have control when you're diagnosed with a new disease. So hopefully you're really going to enjoy this.
Surprise. I was pretty healthy before. Not vegan by any means, but my boyfriend's mom was vegan. So we were making vegan pastas often, eating our vegetables. We just like vegetables in general. I was about the same size I am now. I worked out. I was relatively healthy, and then it came out of nowhere. And even like looking back at like my notes before it happened, like I found some notes from the Friday before I had my seizures of Saturday. But that Friday I went to differential equations of all classes, and I put my brain through that sort of trauma. And like looking through those notes, I was just like, how was I surviving? And that's what all the doctors said. They were like, we don't know how you were surviving. And it's because I was ignoring everything in my body. I was not connected on my body in the microbiological like way that I am now. I wasn't feeling the same things I was feeling before. I would just ignore it if I were feeling something, and that was terrible for my body. And I attributed a lot to I let it get to that point, because I did gain about 10 pounds in that week before I was in the hospital, and then I gained 60 when I was in the hospital. But I saw those 10 pounds and I was like, am I pregnant? I don't think you gain 10 pounds in your first month of pregnancy. So I felt reluctant for that reason, and I felt reluctant to go to the doctor and pay for the visit, and I just should have immediately just taken care of my body, just recognized something is wrong within me and handled it, because I let it get to that point. And I'm happy for a lot of reasons. I'm happy it happened when I was 20 instead of like 21, when I had times to mess up my kidneys more. Happy it happened at the beginning of the school year instead of the end of the school year. I'm lucky my boyfriend was there. If I were living alone, I wouldn't be alive right now. It's as simple as that. And overall, it was probably not the best way for the lupus to come into my life, but I look at it as the best way it could have come into my life. And having it come in such a severe way definitely slapped the grief out of me quickly, and then I was able to handle it quickly. It definitely slapped any sort of like ideas of maybe I don't need to be so serious about telling my doctor about what I'm feeling in me. Like all of that's out of my brain now. I take everything very seriously because it came in such a serious way, and I can appreciate that for everything that it's done for me. Everything coming in that sort of severe way, I treat it as severe as it is. So, it's shocking to think about. It was so intense, and it's so interesting hearing other people when they talk about their lupus in different ways. Some people have had those organ failures, and then other people haven't. And it's interesting because it's still a disease that everyone's suffering with at the end of the day, and they're suffering in their own ways. And I just see it as how my lupus affected me. It's just how things played out at the end of the day. And I'm so happy that it did, because now I have this change in my diet. I have a lot of changes in my mentality. I have a lot of beneficial changes that have come from it, and I feel the strongest I've ever been, the healthiest I've ever been, like the most in tune with myself, empowered. Yeah. I feel like a lot of great things from the lupus, so I see it as such a positive thing, despite seizures and dialysis and the intensity of the moment.
It gives you a different perspective on everything. It really does, because you feel your mortality is just put in front of you, and you think of tomorrow's not guaranteed. What if I wake up and something else is wrong? And there's so many different things that can come out of it, and you have to think long term, because one of the things that plays a huge role in diet is blood sugar control. The first medication that they're going to put you on every time you have a flare is steroids. And long-term use of steroids has lots of bad side effects, bone loss, the blood sugar issues, adrenal suppression. There's just a lot of things that come out of the steroid use that are really hard on your body, and maintaining, a good diet is extremely important in that. That way, when you have flares, you're still getting the protein that you need, and you're still getting the vitamins that you need, and you're not putting overkill in your body by eating, a box of Oreos that didn't take any 40 milligrams of prednisone.
Yeah.
So it really does factor into a huge part of living with the disease, is what you put into your body.
Yeah, especially with the steroids. Oh my God, there's so many effects to it. But even the other medication on top of it, a lot of it is to essentially do things that at the end of the day, if you were eating correctly, like your body would be able to do on its own. Like I'm on a lot of blood pressure medication, and my kidneys have started functioning better. They're able to regulate that better. But it is interesting that, a lot of these pills and a lot of these medications that are meant to help us at the end of the day, they have so many side effects, and they keep us alive. I am thankful for steroids. I'm still on 15 milligrams right now. We've tapered from 40 since the hospital. But I'm still thankful that they're able to do that for us. But, then I look at food and I see all the great effects it can have for you if you're eating correctly, if you're getting the right things in your body, and how they don't leave me with hot flashes at night, how they don't leave me with moon face and oniony skin that's flaking everywhere, because these steroids, they did all those sort of things. And that's one thing that did draw me a lot towards this diet. Was not like I thought I was getting off of my medication, because as the doctor said, don't be cocky, but to help with the medication, at least at the end of the day, and maybe be able to lessen the medication as quickly as possible, rather than if I were not eating what I should be. It feels good knowing that, the medication's a big part of why I'm alive right now, but it's also a diet at the end of the day involved as well.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you have to have diet modification, because there's not a pill for everything. One of the biggest things that is affecting society right now is actually liver disease, especially in pediatric populations. It's called NASH, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, basically fatty liver. Huge. That's definitely a segment to look into.
Yeah.
I work in liver disease at Tulane, so it's something that we're seeing
Consistently.
Yes. It's crazy, but it's because of diet. And the problem is, a lot of these patients come in and they want a pill to fix it. Well, there's no pill to fix this. You have to stop eating Cheetos and drinking soft drinks. That's one thing I never was a big soft drink person. I haven't drank soft drinks since high school. It's just 20 years ago.
I see you.
But it never quenched my thirst. It was weird that you could drink a soft drink and then you're still thirsty. I'm like, why am I still thirsty? And I like water. I prefer to drink water over anything else. And the three main things that I drink would be probably coffee, water, and beer or wine.
Yeah.
Which is definitely not on an anti-inflammatory regimen, but that's part of my moderation of what keeps me sane. So I like my some wine or beer. That's a social thing for me that I'm not willing to give up.
As long as you do it in moderation. I've had 2 beers since the hospital, and every time I've been kind of nervous, but then I drink it, and then I remember that people are doing so much damage to their body, so much more. As long as it's moderated, then I think it's A-okay at the end of the day. My birthday is coming up soon. I'm going to allow myself to have a glass of wine then, because as long as my body's functioning well, as long as everything's okay, as long as you're not drinking the whole bottle by yourself, then it's fine. The reason I was drawn to this diet was I followed a lot of lupus pages on Instagram, like Lupus Organization. They have that official page, and a lot of people were commenting on these posts that they have, especially one where they talked about how there was no clear evidence of a diet having effect on lupus. That's what they had said, because I guess because there's no concrete evidence, they can't really give that out to the public and say diet really has an effect. So a lot of people had commented, they were saying things like, food is healing, follow this doctor, she'll change your life. I was healed, and it sounded kind of shady to me, so I looked at this doctor's page, and her Instagram is Goodbye Lupus. Sounds kind of shady once again. So I looked through some of her posts, and she had pictures of other people, clients of hers, that had their results from different tests, just test after test, like showing that their lupus was gone. And that sounded crazy to me. That did not sound like anything that was realistic, especially getting out of the hospital, seeing how dire it was, how confused everyone was by lupus, how doctors were unsure of how to handle this at times. And to hear someone say, oh, this is the cure, and to see people with cured tests, I was really intrigued. So she had free web seminars. I signed up for them. And kind of similar to how your grandpa had found someone online with all sorts of free information. This was her. She does 3-hour-long free seminars, and she does them every 2 months, I think. But she does these free seminars. You can sign up for them, and she'll do live question and answer, and she goes into essentially the diet that helped her. And she had lupus for, I believe, 12 or 13 years, hasn't had it for 13 or 14 years.
Don't forget to subscribe and like the videos.